Hey guys, today's topic of the video is going to be about an important and a very important novel in Irish and modern literature, which is a portrait of the artist as a young man. So, by James Joyce. So, before starting, I will suggest you to subscribe to my channel so that you can get all my literature related videos. Also follow me on Instagram so that you can get all the literary updates from there. So starting with the introduction of the novel. The novel is written by a very famous Irish modernist writer, James Joyce. James Joyce is actually the emblem of modernism because he used the stream of consciousness, which is very famous term, and he is one of the pioneers of the stream of consciousness. This novel was published in 1916. I have also made a video on stream of consciousness, which is also called interior monologue. So the link is given in the description below. So this novel was published in 1916 and it is the first novel of James Joyce. It is a gangster roman. Gangster roman is a kind of autobiographical novel in which describes the development of a person who becomes an artist, poet, musician, or any sort of artist. I have also made a video on Bildungsroman and Gangsterroman, so you can, and Roman Eclef, links are given in the description below. In this novel, the religious, political and intellectual growth of the hero Stephen Douglas who was born in a Catholic and Irish nationalist family is shown. How his thoughts turn into a rebellious thoughts and how he starts thinking beyond his religious or nationalistic borders. Major characters of this novel are Stephen Douglas, who is a protagonist and a hero of the novel, who travels the intellectual growth throughout the novel. Simon Douglas is the father of Stephen and he is a strict Catholic and nationalist. Emma is the girl to whom Stephen is attracted and wrote poems for her. Charles Stuart Parnell is not an actual character, but it seems that he influences the lives of the characters in the novel. We just hear his name on radio and with newspaper or something or other sources. Cronley is the best friend of Stephen in the University of Dublin and with whom Stephen shares his every thought. He is his loyal friend. Moving toward the summary of this novel, in the first scene, baby Stephen is listening to his father's nonsense fairy tale and his thoughts roam everywhere, and in the next scene of the novel, the younger Stephen is shown who is at school, Clonglaws Wood College, as a first year student. In school he is innocent and shy and is annoyed by his fellows, and he has no friend except Fleming. One day he's sick and went to hospital. When he wakes up, he hears about the death of a famous Irish nationalist, Parnell, Charles Stuart Parnell. When he returns to home after a few months on the winter vacations, he hears that his family is discussing Parnell and the Catholic Church. He listens a debate which his family is doing about Catholicism and nationalism. Parnell is the insignia of nationalism in this novel, Irish nationalism. It is to be noted that since his childhood, his family has thrown strong influence of Irish nationalism and Catholicism on him. When he comes back to school, he finds that two of his class fellows are found committing some sexual act with their senior fellows. A boy breaks his glasses, but the teacher beats him, which makes Stephen to complain to the rector, who takes his side. We move a few years forward in the novel and we meet Stephen again. He comes to his uncle Charles' home for summer vacations. He wanders with his friends in the street, or Bray Mills in the streets. Um, Stephen reads Alexander Dumas' books, The Count of Monte Cristo, and is influenced by it. He imagines himself the lover of the novel's heroine, Mercedes, I think her name is. Stephen's father's financial condition was not good, and their family and Stephen have to move to Dublin. Here in Dublin, Stephen is attracted towards a girl, Emma, and he also wrote a poem for her, a love poem for her. The novel further moves forward, and we find Stephen a very serious and hardworking student at Belvedere, and there he becomes a school teacher in a play. He visits his previous hometown where a piece of art introduces him with the word fetus, which fills him with sexual thoughts. He started thinking about lust and sexual things. He is confused about his sexuality and social and religious restrictions. In school, at the end of the educational year, at the end of his educational year, he is awarded with the awards and money which makes him pleased momentarily for that time. But when he spends all money with his friends and family, he becomes anxious once again. And he grows frustrated sexually. But doing sex with anyone will bring shame to him. Despite all this, he starts sex with prostitutes. Stephen attends religious sermons in which hell and sin are lectured. These lectures make Stephen guilty, and he decides to confess his sin to start a pure life. But soon his mind is filled with doubts, and one day the director of Belvedere asks him to be the priest. But when the director insists, he surrenders and accepts this position of priesthood. So Stephen becomes a priest at Belvedere. But soon Stephen realizes that the life of a priest is very boring, and he wants to return to his previous life of freedom. He applies to the University of Dublin for admission, and one day at the beach he thinks to become a writer, and he sees a beautiful girl standing in the water, which makes him happy. He overjoys with these emotions. The time moves forward, and he writes a poem for her. The time moves forward, and we see Stephen, a well-respected and ambitious student at University of Dublin. He is mostly found outside with his friends during the lectures and talking about his theory of aesthetics. So he is blamed by his friends that he is no longer a nationalist. Stephen is no longer interested in national and religious dogmas, which he has become, but he has become bold and passes his controversial statements to his friend Cranley. When Stephen sees Emma after such a long time, he is infatuated to her once again and writes another love poem for her. we find him a writer in the next years. He is going to leave Ireland, and he is welcome to experience more in life. In the end of the novel, we see Stephen invoking his old father to find out the young artist. Moving towards the major theme of this novel, nationality or nationalism, religion, Catholicism, and secularism. Intellectual growth of a person with time, art, love, and literature, art, life, and literature, love, influence of society and parents, etc., sexuality and sexual frustration, freedom. Moving towards the style and devices in this novel, the novel is realistic and of modern era. So this novel is modern. This novel is from modernism. It is very famous for its stream of consciousness. All the chapters are written from the third person point of view, but in the last chapter, Stephen takes the charge of the narration just himself, just like he takes the charge of his life and authority, just like he takes the charge and authority of his own life when he thinks openly. Tone of this novel is serious. It is written in 5 chapters and each has different time period of the hero's life. The novel is filled with symbols, imageries, and literary illusions. Moving towards the last slide, which is what is stream of consciousness. It is an important topic. Stream of consciousness is an unbroken flow of thoughts and awareness in the waking mind. It is a way of narration that attempts to give the writer equivalent of the character's thought process, either in a loose interior monologue or in connection to his or her actions, without writer's interruption. The complete mental process of the character, in which sense mingles with consciousness and half-conscious thoughts, memories, and feelings and random association. It is also called interior monologue. I have also made a video on it. You can also go and watch it. The link is given in the description below. Thanks for watching. I hope you will like or dislike this video. Also comment on the comment box for further inquiry and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you.